And welcome to the Deuce Podcast. I'm Brad.
I'm Jeremy.
And we are doing episode 104, the end of our Bow Wow Wow Yo Yippee Yay. Bow Wow Yippee Yo Yippee Yay series. Is that what we called it?
I don't think that's what it's called.
Well, what's it called?
It is called the Dog Days of Summer.
The Dog Days of Summer. We were doing sequels with dogs in them. Of course, we did 102 Dalmatians as our 102 episode. And then we did, what was the previous one that we did?
We did Beethoven.
Beethoven second. And now we are doing the second Benji movie.
Yes.
For the Love of Benji. And for the love of it.
For the Love of Benji.
For the love of it, Benji. You know who you are. This movie, do you have any information about this movie? It's really hard to find some information.
It's a movie.
It's a movie that was released in 1977, Benji. Starring Benji, the dog that everyone's come to love and know.
Yes,
who has been resurrected into newer movies that I don't think looks like Benji.
No, I equate it to the Critters, how they looked menacing in Critters and Critters 2. And now the ones they put out there, they look like cartoon characters. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing. Benji always was that kind of he didn't look like the prettiest dog.
No, he wasn't the prettiest dog.
He always had rough hair and he was...
Benji was a little rough around the edges, but he was at least lovable.
Yeah, but that he was... he was great because because of his imperfections.
I would say so.
And
I was a fan of Benji back in the day.
But now... He's blonde and very his coat looks very sleek and everything like that. It just looks stupid, I think.
Now this movie, I do believe the writer of this movie got paid by the amount of words. I think every Benji movie gets paid that. This is a Joe Camp. Of course, Joe Camp is the guy that directed most of the original Benji movies are Joe Camp creations. Yeah, and Ben Vaughn produced, written by, of course, Joe Camp and Ben Vaughn, starring Patsy Garrett. I don't think it stars Patsy Garrett. I think Patsy Garrett is just the nanny, Mary, from the first movie, from Benji. She was in the first one. Yeah. And some wonderful cast and characters, and we are in the land of Greece, where Benji is on the loose in Greece. And I don't mean the musical Grease. I do mean the country. Although, Born to Hand Jive with Benji would have been, a little showstopper in the middle of this.
Well, yeah, I mean, he would have. Yeah.
A little Grease Lightning by Benji?
Yes.
Stop me while I'm behind, would you?
I will not.
Oh, come on. Did you know we're no phonies?
I did know that.
We did. And anyway, back to Benji.
What? So let's just real quick talk about the No Phony Podcast Network.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is where the home of network. No phonies. Yeah.
It's a network where there's no phonies at all.
It's true.
It's a podcast network that we're involved in.
But there's all sorts of stuff out there. So if you like comedy, we got, Release the Clowns. You got some politics mixed with some comedy. We got Politics with Dummies. Sports. I mean, we got BS3 Sports and Music, Bats and Balls podcast. If you want a little... mysteries in your life, we got Lights in the Sky. If you love reading, Brook Reading Podcast, Village Vidiots, Talking Codswallop. We got all sorts of stuff in there. This month though, our featured podcast is The Rant with Herman James and friends.
He enjoyed our little rant that we had about Herman James and The Rant and his friends.
Yes.
So there you go. We like Herman James. I like Herman. He's a good guy.
Yeah, very much so.
Very much so. But let's get back to why we're here.
Yes.
For the Love of Benji.
For the Love of Benji.
For the Love of Benji, the sequel to Benji, 1977. You can find this movie on Netflix along with a lot of the old Benji movies and the new Benji movies. Seems to be Netflix is your home for everything Benji. Including, yes. I don't know if the stupid Chevy Chase Benji's on that. I'm going to assume it probably is if all the rest.
I thought I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a crappy one. Don't watch that one. I mean,
Heavenly Dog or whatever it is.
Whatever it is. So do we have a plot synopsis for the love of Benji?
For the love of Benji.
For the love of Benji.
Well, this is the best one I could find. While en route to vacation in Greece with his family, a passenger borrows Benji for just long enough to tattoo a mysterious message on his paw. Separated from the family in Athens, Benji finds himself on the run from an assortment of international spies, searching for the message in another exciting Benji adventure.
The end. I mean, really, we don't even need to discuss about this movie.
Thanks,
plot.
everybody.
That is the plot.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, there's really... I mean, okay. Why don't we start from the beginning?
Yeah.
Shall we? We are in Greece.
Yes.
And there is a guy sitting at a table. All of a sudden, another guy comes up, and we don't really see his face, and he shoves a bunch of newspapers on the table, correct? And we don't really know what he's saying because I forgot to put the subtitles on because I accidentally hit the wrong thing on Netflix.
Yeah, it's really weird on Netflix with this one. It's like it's all or none. Either you don't understand anything in Greek, or you turn it on and you hear the subtitles, but then you see them speaking in English as well.
Really, that's okay because there's not a lot of dialogue in Benji movies. You know what I mean? So there's not a lot of dialogue.
But it narrates like crickets chirping and other things as though the dogs are...
That is true. Like, yes.
Barking.
Beads rattling.
Beads rattling.
That was my favorite.
One of my favorites.
That was my favorite. So, and so they're talking about a scientist that has discovered something. We don't exactly know what it is, but we know that a hidden message is going to be, right? Like, I don't really understand how they know that Benji is going to be the target.
Yeah, they didn't quite go into...
Yeah, I don't understand how they knew that.
Well, they probably had access to the passenger manifest, and they made a reservation for the dog, so that's what they did. Basically, a scientist ran off to Europe, right, and was in hiding. He had something he was working on. They don't say till at the very end, but they say Benji's coming. Or the target is a dog. He'll be carrying this message for whoever it is. And so then we go to the family at the airport. We have a weird montage.
The family at the airport is a very weird montage. I don't believe this is the same. I think the girl's different than the first movie because the girl in the first movie complained about animal treatment, and so they were like, "We'll get rid of you." So I think it's a different daughter in it.
No, it's the same.
There was someone that I read was
the kids might have changed out between those, but it's the British spy lady.
Oh, the British spy lady's different? Okay.
Yeah, she was originally a different actress.
They originally had a different actress.
And they changed her out.
Great. Okay, whatever. Because she was just whatever.
Because she didn't like that they were tasering
Look,
Benji in
the 70s.
the dog junk.
Were they tasering Benji in order to get him to do it?
Dude,
what?
they had that, was it one dog's worth or whatever it was. A dog's worth. And then they were like, drown you fucker, and like putting the German Shepherd in the water to get the shot.
I don't know, you know. Actually, so, like it says Benjin on
Benjin.
Benjin.
Yeah.
Is that like Greece for Benji? Benjin?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's like Jean Valjean.
Starring Benjin.
Jean Valjean.
So we do have a very weird guy that keeps following the family, and it's like they're like, "We're going to Greece."
It's the guy behind him in line.
Yeah.
And the Mary, played by Patsy Garrett, just making small talk with him. He's like, "Yeah, we're all going to Greece, bitch."
You might call her Mrs. Garrett if you want.
Ooh,
there you go. Yes.
She was the basis for the real life.
Maybe. There you go. Mrs. Garrett.
But no, so
dogs.
Benji. So
facts of life are all about Benji. Oh, the cats and the dogs. All right.
So Mary is just having small talk. She's excited about the vacation. And it was taking a while because she had to get like a reservation rebooked for the doctor. The kid's father. Yeah. So.
AKA the guy that didn't come back.
Yeah.
The second movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
exactly.
say. Yeah.
So they're waiting and everything. They strike up a conversation. This guy seems really nice. He introduces himself as Chandler Dietrich. Yeah, who is coming from the States, and he's also going to be vacationing on same island.
Yeah. True fact, that's where Chandler Bing got his name. No, not true fact.
No.
Thought I'd give you
but it is where Marlena Dietrich got him. Also not true. So
wearing the biggest like 70s tie. This is very 70s movie.
Yeah, movie 77. Yeah, the opening montage where like, and I like this opening montage.
I do too.
It's
fun.
It's like there's not talking during it. It's playing music. A lot of people directing like luggage and stuff. Benji goes to like
riding the luggage cart.
Yeah, he's
like in
riding
style.
Adorable.
Yeah,
he's an adorable dog.
Oh, an adorable dog.
It very like, you know, sometimes when you see dogs that are trained and stuff like that, they like you can tell like they're just doing a command long enough for like the camera to focus in on them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, you can tell that he's a very well-trained dog, and like this dog is very calm, very relaxed.
Yeah,
maybe it's because of all the tasering they did that one actress objected to.
Bad if that's how they got the, I don't know, you know, the animal rights, you know, weren't really big back then, I guess.
No.
Okay.
But he always hit his mark, so you know.
Yeah,
we're okay.
Yes.
But
or his bark.
But it definitely produced
always
results.
Hit his bark. Sponsored by Milkbone. Dog biscuits. All right. So this guy's kind of creepy. They end up putting Benji and the other dog, Tiffany. Is that the other dog?
Yeah.
Right.
Who's the
I didn't
one?
know there was another dog in the Benji movies that they had. I think Benji.
Was she from the first one?
I don't know.
Well, she's Cindy's.
It's been a while since I've seen these.
She's Cindy's.
These were like a big events, right? Like I remember my mom would be like, "There's a Benji movie on. I've ordered pizza," and we always had to have like a sheet because we would watch it in front of the TV. So she'd get like a grubby sheet and she'd put it down. We had to be on the seat or on the sheet eating the pizza as we would watch Benji.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, I was never.
We could watch Benji that way. We watched Wonderful World of Disney a couple times. Like that. Now I don't think Disney doesn't own Benji, does he? Do they?
I don't know.
I don't know who owns this property. It just sounds like Netflix does.
Yeah. So at this point, they do.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I digress.
I wonder what the dog who played Benji's doing these days.
Doggone it. So we go back to our movie because hey, I guess there's plot in this.
Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah. So they put Benji and Tiffany in the dog carriers, and they're getting ready to board the plane, right?
Yeah. And by the way, the daughter keeps screaming about Tiffany has a condition.
Yes.
Cindy keeps saying Tiffany has a condition.
Tiffany has a condition. It's called second banana dog.
Yes.
To Benji.
Yeah.
That's the condition.
Not being as well trained as Benji.
Being afraid of the taser. That's what it is.
So while the dogs go into their carriers and they're getting loaded up, you see Chandler Dietrich comes in. Chandler Dietrich. And
somehow slips past a bunch of like security.
It was pre 9/11.
I mean, yeah.
It's like, I mean, we're talking even when like less technology, so like people are boarding things very manually and I think at the beginning they were talking about the reservation and like the Mary goes, "Computers, am I right?"
Oh, right. Computers. Mrs. Garrett. So this is where, and by the way, this is a kid's movie, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a kid's movie. So this is where Dietrich, he chloroforms Benji.
Yeah.
Knocks the dog fucking out cold. And we're like, fuck you, Dietrich.
Yeah.
I hope you get it in the end.
Yeah.
Because, like, 5 minutes into this movie, you just knocked out Benji.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, chloroform. And enough chloroform that, like, even Dietrich was like...
To the point where, like, if any, hey, for instance, twists happen, I'm not going to believe it. Because you're the bad guy. Because you knocked out Benji.
Yes.
Right away, we've just established you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So he puts a little code on his paw.
He takes, like, he has this little... I don't quite get what the hell it was. It's like a little circle, and it had like pins on it,
like a coin,
it looked like a coin. It had pins on it, and he pushes it into his paw. So it must have like they keep saying tattoo, so I guess it tattooed something on his paw, like a code,
Yeah. You figure with all that running around, that tattoo would come off.
Yeah,
right. I guess it tattooed. I guess it just inked it or something. I don't know.
I don't know, and it wouldn't have healed in time.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't get what the hell it was.
I don't get it either.
But then he takes out his lighter and sets this what looks like a metal coin on fire, and it just turns to ash.
Well, no, because the thing when he dropped it, the thing went think. So obviously it was made of metal, but yet it could burn very easily.
Yeah,
by lighting it on fire. So I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing that they were trying to hide from the scientist, you know, just destructible metal.
Maybe.
To make our metal less destructible, 1977.
For the love of Benji.
For the love of Benji. All right. So where were we? So then we're in Greece.
Yeah.
And magically, Dietrich has befriended this family.
Yeah. To the point where they're like sharing cabs.
Yeah, to the point where he's like got his arm around the kids, like, "Oh, hey, Uncle Dietrich," you know.
Like they're super chunk.
I know it's a long trip, but come on.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna share a cab. He's supposed to call the cab or whatever it is, and then
you're a cab.
And then he's like, just get my luggage when it comes off the luggage rack, would you? Like he's trying to get them to bring it out, and so he walks off and he goes to like a payphone that says it's I assume it says it's out of order.
Yeah, it did.
It's all Greek to me.
No, it said it was out of order too.
Okay, so he waits and he gets a mysterious like spy phone call
from who? Don't know.
We don't know.
Was that ever explained?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Who was it?
We'll get there.
Oh no, it was the British. Was it the British people? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So he gets his call, and when you're walking back, Mary, who is doing her best Edie McClurg impression.
She's doing Edie McClurg.
Yeah, she starts yelling, or not yelling, but she's panicking about like
the Hawken family. The Hawken family. They helped
their
me.
dogs didn't make it with the rest of the luggage.
Yeah,
and she's like, they haven't eaten or drink anything in like 12 hours. Like you guys gotta.
You didn't put like something.
Apparently not.
You figured you would.
Yeah. Or get something down
flight.
There for
Let's get with it, Edie McClurg.
Yeah. And so they get down there. Like, you need to find them. They're like, well, they must have gotten left in Athens when we switched the luggage over. So we'll check, see if we can find them, and then see if we can get it here. But it'll be like tomorrow. And so they're like, okay. And of course now. Chandler Dietrich is freaking out because he's like, oh no, I need that dog. And so they check back there to see what's going on. There's the guy who runs like the luggage area in Athens.
Yeah.
He is like, oh, well, here, I'll get you guys some water. Because the dogs look thirsty.
The dogs. Oh, there's dogs here.
Yeah, and so he cuts the cage open with bolt cutters because there's locks on it.
And the phone rings. It's always the phone. The phone's always ringing.
And this is before they had those. Found. This is before they had those spring-loaded kennel lock things that automatically dogs can't get out of. It was just a latch on those carriers at the time. Yeah. So Benji manages to knock over the bowl with the water, and it breaks. the guy goes to scold him. Some British guy opens the door, and it's like, no, what's going on in here? And he opens the door, and Benji just runs
runs free.
Yeah, like runs on a seriously, they chase him down forever.
Yeah.
It's like running on the tarmac, runs whatever.
Benji is lost on the streets of Greece.
Yeah, and there's 2 British people now.
There's 2
also
British people
him.
that look like they're from the board game Clue.
Yeah,
right.
I think they look like they were like Muppet character rejects.
Kind of. One looked like the British Mr. Feeney.
Yes.
Boy Meets World.
Yes.
And the other lady looked like.
She looked like Carol Burnett playing Ms. Hannigan.
Yes. I was trying to get it, but you got it. Yes. Very much so. No, here's where things become a Benji movie. Because then we get a lot of scenes where there's not a lot of talking and there's a lot of following Benji. Right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, how you like that. Again, I mean, nowadays, because when I was a kid, I enjoyed it because I was just following Benji along. You know what I mean? I was just a dopey kid that was like, oh, what's Benji getting into?
Right.
But now as an adult and as our attention span, you know what I mean? Because this is a kid's movie.
Yeah. With
Benji really not doing a lot.
Well.
But he is.
Yeah, but okay, so the same thing happened kind of in
Beethoven at the
beginning. But there's
that ended.
What's that?
That ended pretty quickly.
Yeah, it did. But here's the big difference to me is like Beethoven had that like
music,
like underscore to it. And Benji is very much like au naturel with sound.
Yes.
On a lot of this, like I was like, oh my god, it's so quiet.
So quiet.
For a while, like when Benji's just walking. I
think you said, is this the Third Man dog movie?
Yeah, eventually it plays a mandolin sound. Yeah, it does that later though, when he's like running and walking around doing things. Like they have the mandolin kind of sound going, and it sounds like it was scored by the Third Man.
Yeah.
But no, like he's just walking and it's quiet, and like he's just kind of staring at things here and there, or just walking past like monuments
how,
to
like,
establish it.
Did you like that or did you not? Or did you just
I didn't like that as much, but what I did like was when he started interacting with things.
Sure.
Like, so he goes through all this stuff, and then he sees a big dog, and you can tell that Benji's hungry.
No, I know that, but I was just wondering. So, like, you didn't really prefer, like, I mean, you didn't like the scenes how they were shot. Because I liked.
Oh no, I thought they were shot well.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I just thought they were shot well. They just didn't really, until he was doing something, it didn't really hold my attention.
And like the beginning of this movie, when you know Benji is kind of out on his own and he's interacting with these people, it's not necessarily important scenes, but it's scenes that set up other things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there is the dog that he meets, the other dog that he meets. That is chewing on a bone that won't share anything with him.
Yeah, and Benji really wants to. Benji's like, it's so cute. He does this thing where he kind of like gets down low and kind of like crawls over to it.
Benji's hungry. He hasn't had food in 12 hours because they didn't put in any food.
It's got to be longer than that now.
It's got to be longer than that now. Yeah. Then there is the interaction in when he's just walking around in the streets of Greece and it looks like it's a marketplace.
Yeah.
And he sees like a butcher arguing with,
Isn't it before that he thinks he sees the kids?
Yeah, well, he sees the
running
kids
up to them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is kind of a throwaway, easy scene that you're like whatever.
Yeah, it was up until he gets to the ruins where that dog is.
Right.
I was kind of like, okay, like it wasn't. It's beautifully shot. And I think it was a very interesting choice not to like score the whole thing under there. I mean, talking about 77 filmmaking. So, but you know, like today, I know there would be a lot under that, but also it's kind of like, it was nice hearing some of the ambiance of some of that. Like you hear the crickets or the birds and whatever else and hear him like his little feet walking. Sure. I think it's enjoyable. It just didn't really capture my attention as much as I would have liked.
There's the scene then, like I was saying before, where like a butcher is arguing with a customer, and Benji sees this and he steals the sausages from them and starts running, and they chase after him. Then he comes back to that dog that he first met, and he shares the sausages with him instead. I'm like, way to be a better dog.
Yeah, he's chowing on these sausages. And the big dog turns around and he's just like, And you see him come out and he lays down like, please. And Benji kind of looks at him like, he just has this look on his face like, what? And then he goes, okay, and shares some of the sausages.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? He's Benji.
Survival of the fittest.
No, but Benji's also like Benji's character would not be.
No, Benji's a
selfish.
good boy. He's a good boy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that sets up a lot.
Yes,
you know
it does.
What I mean? And so, I kind of quite enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then he just interacts with a bunch of the street people, the people working, the people running the streets. I mean, he trips a bunch of people. You know what I mean? There's a scene where people are getting angry at Benji for being just there on the streets all of a sudden. Yeah. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, the Greeks were just mad at him nonstop for everything anyway.
We found out the Greeks either, because we obviously have never been to Greece, but like to just yell really quickly at each other.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be.
Seems to be.
That's what I learned from this.
Yeah. The reason why I'm kind of glossing over this, because it's not really that important, but it is a lot of the first part of the movie.
There's some things that make. So Benji goes back to the butcher shop.
Right.
And when he goes back, he's like, gonna steer clear of that sausage vendor guy. And you see him kind of go to the side like, nope, gonna go around here. But the butcher sees him. And he's like, hey, come here. Like trying to entice him with a bone.
That's what I said. That's the whole scene where everyone gets mad at Benji.
He's running through the marketplace. No. And like everybody gets pissed, and like he's almost getting and he looks genuinely afraid.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying like these are bad scenes. I'm just saying like in order to get the plot along, I'm just kind of glossing over this.
Yeah. But this is where they throw a net on him.
Yeah, then they throw a net on him.
The police do.
Yeah. And then he ends up at the pound. We don't see him at the pound.
But it was weird. We don't see him.
We don't see him at the pound, but we see it with a British couple, and they have they found Benji at the pound, and they bring him in, and they but other people thought of looking at the pound too. So you have right?
Yeah, they said, well, if we did, other people will too.
So there's the guy from at the beginning, who we don't know is bad or not or good or whatever.
Yeah,
he comes up and he says, "I'm looking for that dog." They're like, "We have no idea what you're talking about. My British husband doesn't like dogs."
Stelios, by the way, is the guy's name.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney doesn't like dogs.
No. That's Ronald.
Right.
It's the British guy. Is Mr. Feeney.
Sure.
No, the Stelios is the Greek guy.
Right.
Okay. So he comes looking for the dog. They said, nope, we don't got him. Sorry, you've been mistaken. It's not us. And meanwhile, Mr. Feeney has taken him.
Stelios.
No, Ronald has taken the dog upstairs to take pictures of it, or to take.
No, but the Stelios guy, he comes and he's looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stelios does.
And he's not here. My British husband doesn't like dogs.
Yeah. And so Ronald is taking a picture of him, and they seem really like Ronald and Elizabeth seem like they really like Benji.
They seem like the nicest kidnappers, but they didn't really kidnap him.
Well, we don't know what's going on with that yet. Like, it's all very vague at this point. Like, we don't know who's good, who's bad, if they're all bad, if they're all good, like, what's going on.
Meanwhile, Mary decides she's going to stop by this place because she realizes the pound said that they're the ones that picked up Benji. So she goes and looks for Benji too as well. We don't have Benji. We don't know what you're talking about. And I actually like the scene because Benji hears Mary's voice and he's like, "Oh no, Mary's here!" So he starts barking, but right when he starts barking, a big ass truck comes down the road, and so we can't hear, like Mary can't hear Benji barking.
Yeah,
and I thought like awesome. Benji becomes like the MacGyver of dogs.
Yes,
like and getting out of situations where you see him looking around.
Yeah,
like okay, I'll look at this, and then the camera looks at what he's looking at, like the point of view. So he's like, I can't. I bet you if I jump on this, slide down the banister, go through here, I can get down there. And then he does, but he does it and very much in a 70s way, which is very not computer, not CG, because we're not in that area, but very, practical, not woo that you get nowadays with Disney.
Yeah,
where it's all we get it.
It was a lot.
Look at us being fun.
It was good dog training.
Yeah.
Well, there's when he does that, so
he tasered
him and then,
get down there.
Get out. There was a when he
fuck you, Benji, get down there.
Get down there, Benji. So he almost misses part of that jump too.
Yeah.
There's a wall part. It looks like he just slams into it. I was like, oof, God, rough landing. Instead of jumping and then jumping down.
Would it be weird if his stunt double was a human dressed as you just see
not it? At all. No. I would have loved that. Benji jumps and all of a sudden it's a 6 foot tall guy in a Wookiee costume.
Whoa, shoo! And he jumps down
and he just smashes through everything, and then it cuts to Benji running up the street.
That would have been me. I would have loved every minute of that. That would have been great. So he starts running after them. Yeah.
Well, and I want to say too, this, I think I loved this because Benji, we've now seen multiple times where Benji, he just wants to sleep. He slept after he ate the sausages or whatever, but he's not had a rough time. And you see where he just goes, he just wants to lay down and sleep. And something this movie I think does really well too is dialogue doesn't necessarily happen. It's always off camera, you hear the humans talking.
Yeah, that's true.
And we are kind of seeing Benji, in this scene, he goes, you see his eyes close, and he's just, sleeping. He looks so peaceful.
But you know what?
And then,
I know what's going on through Benji. I don't really need to know that.
Yeah.
But through Benji's emotions and through the dog himself and the body language of the dog, you kind of get, it's so amazing to, see this blocking of the taser of the dog, you would say, and go, wow, that's I know what the scene is.
Yeah, but I love hearing the dialogue, not we have to cut to it. Benji's not in it.
Fuck that.
We hear it in the background. I think that is great the way they did it. But when we hear Mary's voice, his eyes open again, and I was just like, man, it's just like a human actor.
Yeah.
His eyes were so expressive and the
better
way
than some human actors that I've seen.
He
better than that damn girl that was in this movie. Okay.
He opens them and kind of looks around, then he sits up, Mary. I had a hard time being how did they get that dog to do that? It just seemed very expressive. It just seemed extremely expressive. His eyes and his mannerisms.
It seemed second nature. It seemed like that's what that dog was meant to do on this earth.
Yeah.
That's how I've always watched Benji movies, where it's always Benji, I always thought was Benji, and that's how he was in real life.
Yep.
That if you hung out with Benji, that you would get into an adventure, and you wouldn't need to talk to Benji because Benji would show you the dialogue through his eyes.
Yep.
And through his through his nose, and through whatever. That's how I always thought of Benji. So now he follows them to the hotel where they're staying at, and he runs up because he sees them, but he sees Dietrich, and he has flashbacks of the fact that he chloroformed him, and he says, "I'm not going that way." Yeah. Again, a very expressiveness of the dog's face, and you're
now this is
when Benji's scared, when it's a scared scene, when he's brave, all that.
This is probably one of my least favorite techniques of this movie is the flashback things.
I hate it.
Where they go, boom. It's not like a flashback. It's like a, boom, here's a shot of the guy chloroforming him.
Well, why do we need it? Can't we just rely on the fact that Benji, that Benji was chloroformed not 40 minutes ago?
Yeah, right?
We know.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of the worst.
And so Dietrich sees him, and then the next scene is he takes a Doberman Pinscher out and goes hunting for Benji.
Yeah. In the meantime,
and one of my favorite kind of go ahead.
Oh, go, no.
Well, when so Benji's running when he sees that Dietrich's chasing him.
Yeah.
And he ends up in this this kind of cafe kitchen or something.
Yeah.
And the cook's like, "Oh, come here. You can come right here and just lay down." And then he sees that Dietrich's outside with the Doberman Pinscher, and so he hides. This is my favorite. I don't know why. Because he goes looking for like the Doberman Pinscher goes in there. No, he goes in there. He leaves the Doberman Pinscher out there. He goes in there to look for him.
Yeah.
And it becomes like one of those like people. Someone's got to be in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
When he's opening the cupboard doors like left and right. That's
Yeah.
what it reminds me of. So it kind of had that feel of like an action movie.
Yeah, where like somebody's hiding in the closet or something like that, and then they
jump
bust out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he opens the last cabinet and Benji shoots out and goes running for it.
Well, actually, my favorite was the fact that you were like, "Why is it that the dog is just sniffing?" Like, no, that was my favorite. My favorite is like he's looking for Benji in that place, and he goes, "Here, Benji, here. I've never harmed you before." Fuck no, you chloroformed that dog.
You chloroformed him, man.
What the hell are you talking about?
He had a flashback. He definitely remembers.
Right. Like, come on.
Also, like, so he has this Doberman chasing him.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the Doberman
How did
chasing
you train
like,
him? I don't know.
Dog. Well, like, because usually if it's a scent hound, you have something of with their scent,
and the only thing that has a scent is that chloroformed rag,
which would knock your dog
which
out.
would knock the Doberman.
But no, so I don't know how you got this Doberman to find him. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't think that's how dogs work. But sure. But yeah, he's chasing him down with this thing.
Yeah.
So Benji goes running for it. Then they chase him. And I think that's when we
find out that the chef or the cook was the other guy at the beginning that was
talking to Stelios.
Yes, that was throwing the newspapers at the. So we're like, oh well, that's a nice easy coincidence.
Yeah,
yeah. I guess.
That's why Stelios was like, oh, I'm gonna call.
Yeah,
because he realized, hey, this is
the dog.
Yeah, I think this is the dog we're looking for. So Benji goes running. Yeah, he takes off.
Yeah. The
Doberman ends up chasing him.
Right. And this is where it pays to be nice to other dogs.
Yeah.
You would say.
Yes, very much so.
So there's a nice scene where the Doberman Pinscher's chasing Benji, and Benji ends up going to where he and that one friend dog of his were eating the sausage.
Well, I was confused about this chase a little bit too, because at one point you see...
I was confused about a lot of chases.
You see Chandler Dietrich has Benji's holding him, and the Doberman runs up and like jump kicks Chandler in the face.
I'm like, what?
And then knocks him down, so Benji goes running.
Yeah.
And the Doberman goes after him, and we were like, oh, the Doberman's his friend too.
No, I think the Doberman just was like, I have one goal, and my goal is to kill Benji.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Oh, yeah. And so he stopped at nothing.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh, until we realized, nope, that Doberman is still really pissed, and so he chases him.
I just feel like that Doberman Pinscher is kind of like the William Dafoe of like the hotel, that one. I can't think of his name right now. Wes Anderson. Yeah. Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's who he is.
Nothing will get in his way.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but yeah, he's like the guy that's chasing you.
Yes.
So we need the equivalent of a dog chasing him.
And this is probably, to me, this is one of the, maybe like one of two of the most dramatic chases in the whole movie.
What's your first?
The car.
Oh, okay.
No, but this is pretty dramatic because like, and it has the danger music and it has everything, and they're running and like, Benji runs all the way back to the ruins where he had stayed before, and he gets there and he jumps down, and the Doberman dives over and like spins around, and when he spins around, Benji's sitting there next to the big junkyard dog kind of thing. And the Doberman barks, and the big dog stands up, and the Doberman kind of like backs up a couple steps, and finally the big dog like takes off after him.
Pays to be nice.
Yeah,
pays to be nice to.
But I'm like that they do that, and it's I get like it's a little, you know, it's us kind of anthropomorphizing the animals a little bit with like. Do the dogs really make friends like that over sausages?
No, but it's archetyping.
But
like,
yeah,
it's archetyping like adventure movies that we've seen before.
Yes,
you know what I mean. But through a dog's view.
Yes, but it's adorable as hell, and I'm glad they also don't like talk, or it's not like a hey buddy.
I would fucking hate that.
That would be terrible.
Yes,
this is adorable because you know what's going on, and they don't even have to say a damn word.
No, you know what's gonna happen.
Yes,
but when it does, it's great.
Yeah. And so Benji's like, okay, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
And so this is where he heads back. He let's see, was this where the car chase?
No, he goes back and he makes it into the hotel. He sneaks.
Right.
He does the MacGyver move again.
Yeah,
and sneaks into the hotel, and he meets back up with Mary and everyone. They're eating like dinner or lunch.
Oh,
or
that's
something.
right. That's right.
And this is where the whole switcheroo happens, where we get more of the plot.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, you know, they're like, oh, Benji, we're so glad to have you back.
Yeah, he brings Benji back into the room, and here, Tiffany's here. And they're like, oh, hey, what up, girl? I guess I've missed you.
Yeah. And then Stelios shows up and says, can I borrow your dog for a couple of days?
Excuse me? We just got the mutt back.
Yeah, and they're like, Mary's like, what the hell? What are you talking about? And he's like, and this is somebody they've never seen before.
Yeah, never seen before.
And up to this point, we've been like, who is this shady-ass character?
Right?
And he's like, I just need to borrow your dog for a couple days. I promise he's not going to be hurt. I will get him back to you. It's for his own safety. And this is where I was like, wait, who is this guy? Like, it was confusing for a second.
Very confusing.
And then you see Dietrich comes up and knocks him out.
He's got like a gun.
Yeah, he has a gun and knocks him out. And he's like, that guy's a spy. Like, I'm from the U.S. trying to help.
I need your dog for a couple days.
Yeah.
Not this again. We just went through this.
But he's like, no, we have to do this. You know, I'm work for the U.S. government, so on and so forth. And they're like, of course, Mary's like, okay,
sure, take our dog.
Yeah, because she trusts him.
Whatever.
Mary wants to jump Chandler, so you know she just
she wants to jump someone.
Yeah. Who will I be jumping?
The dogs aren't the only ones in the heat.
Yeah. So she gives Benji to Chandler, and he's like, all right, cool. And so he takes off. Come to find out, like, Stelios starts waking up eventually.
Right.
And he's like, dude, I work for the government, for like the Greek government.
Not him. And this is where I was like, is this an episode of Community where everyone's pretending to be something else and then it just keeps going and going?
It was...
Like when he woke up, I thought when Chandler was going to be like, I work for the government, I thought someone was going to come behind him, like the British guy was going to come behind him, hit him over the head, and goes, "No, I work for the British government," and they would just keep going like that for the rest of the movie, just people mocking each other out
until the family
like the bellboy comes up. I actually work for the bellboy association. And we like your dog, and we think you just constantly, like, all these people are like knocked over the head, and Mary just has a gun over everyone.
Should be the whole movie.
It should have been the rest of the movie.
There's just a pile of guns that Mary's guarding. So Stelios comes to, and he says, he's like, I actually work for the government. He's like, there's a scientist. We're trying to protect him.
Yes.
And this guy,
Mary in her most overdramatic way.
Yeah. Well, by all rights, like, this is pretty confusing.
I mean, yes, in reality, you would act a little crazy about it, but not like the way she does.
Well, he says the real Chandler. They found the real Chandler Dietrich at the bottom, like the river in New Jersey.
Plot.
Yeah. Ew.
Finally got some plot.
That he's not the real Chandler Dietrich. This guy killed the real Chandler Dietrich, took his place, and targeted the family, or targeted Benji to get the message over there, and so on and so forth.
More plot.
Ooh.
Only took us an hour to really get this.
Yeah. And she's like, wait a minute. So it's like we've started to piece together, because we've had some idea that
we've had some ideas of like who might
but
be
now
that. Look,
now
this
he's
guy
starting to straighten it
chloroformed
out.
the dog. Like when he was like, I'm part of the government. I'm like, fuck no, you're not.
Yeah.
What American government agent would like chloroform a dog?
Are you sure about that?
Oh yeah, you're right. Never
You're
mind.
right. I think we might.
Yeah, you're right.
So he's just like, you got to trust me and give me that gun.
I was gonna say maybe not the CIA, but maybe the DOG. I mean the DOA. I mean whatever. DOJ.
The Dodge.
The Dodge.
No, so he's like, Mary, Stelios is like, give me the gun, Mary. And she's so confused. He goes, look, she's like, but he's got to get Benji back to us. He goes, do you think he killed a person and left him in a river? Do you think he's going to let Benji live? What's wrong with you?
I think this is where I'm like, this gets kind of cheesy.
Yeah. And so
this dialogue gets a little cheesy for me.
Yeah. So he takes off.
I mean, let's be realistic.
The worst dialogue is from the people. The best is from the
the best dialogue.
The nonverbal.
The best
from
dialogue's
the
from the dog, Benji.
Yeah. It's not wrong.
That's not wrong in that one.
So they're like, okay, so they chase him down. This is when we get Benji gets away.
Yes.
Oh no! First off, he takes him to a boat.
Oh yeah, he takes him to the boat. We realize that the British people are in on it too.
Yes, they're partnered up.
Yeah, and
they put Benji like below deck, and he's first tries to go out the sunroof in the bathroom.
I'm sorry,
area.
like Benji just escaped from your house. Like he's probably going to escape from a boat.
Yeah, this dog is pretty.
Like this dog, you've noticed, can get away very easily.
Yeah, very much so.
Like you wouldn't lock him up. I mean, I
think they thought he was. That's why they closed the door and everything.
Yeah, but still, this dog's smarter than.
But so they leave him in there. He goes to try to get out the portal in the roof in the bathroom, much like Ava Mendes did in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Sure.
But he tries to do it and can't. So, but then he sees, hey, there's an open window. And again, there's dialogue going off to the side with like the humans talking about like how the deal was going and everything. And actually, Ronald and Elizabeth say, when you're done with Benji, can we have him? Like, we really like him. He's a pretty nice dog. We like him. And he was just like, nope, when he's all done, he's going to go, I'm going to dump his body in the ocean, just like I'm going to do with yours. And it hits them both in the head with a pipe. But you see it like right below the frame of the window.
Because they're clue characters. So we hit him with a pipe.
Yeah.
Because a wrench wasn't available.
Yeah.
Or rope wasn't available.
Hey, I assume a movie death just happened.
Mr. Body's body.
Yeah.
Mr. Body's body's missing. We don't know what happened to Mr. Body.
So, I assume Ronald and Elizabeth are dead.
We're going to assume. We never see him again.
Yeah, but then Benji was like, oh shit! And he's like, he's gone out the window at this point and is like running across the deck and down the pier.
My favorite is when Dietrich did this. Benji!
Yeah, he does. And then he runs out and takes a shot at Benji. So it's just getting real.
Shit is really
well, and
we've seen guns. We haven't really seen any gun fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's the slowest traveling bullet, too. Like,
yeah, it's pretty slow.
He fires it, and then, like, 30 seconds later, the bullet hits near Benji.
Here's the famous car chase scene in Benji that everyone talks about.
Yeah.
When they talk about best car chases of all time.
Yes.
This ranks up there.
This ranks up there.
This is Matrix.
He's in this, like...
French Connection.
This sporty...
For the love of Benji.
This like sporty Italian convertible.
Yes.
That obviously
like
goes
it looks
really
like the
fast.
Italian Job. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and cannot keep up with Benji.
Cannot keep up with a dog.
Although Benji's juking and jiving. He's like all over the place. Like
Benji's fast, but I swear there's moments where you look at that car and it's going like at least 10 miles.
Yeah, it's just kind of creeping. Although I think they do an okay job with like there's stuff in the car's way, so it's not necessarily just a straight shot.
Just who would have thought that you would see a car chase scene in a Benji movie?
Yeah,
let alone any of this.
Yeah. No, when I think you mentioned a car chase scene in this before, and all I thought was Benji was somehow driving the car. like that seriously, I was like, what?
Like Toots the driving cat?
Kind of. Or like the car was in drive and he's just like hitting the wheel, just turning it.
I said that I read something and someone was like, great car chase scene. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
So he
I guess it would be too fast, too furriest.
Too furriest?
Furriest, yeah. I was trying to do that joke, thanks.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't quite stick the landing. But anyway, so he's chasing him. And like the guy is firing at him there a couple times. Benji, like, it's cool. Like one time he doubles back and runs the other direction. Runs the other way, so the guy has to back up and turn around. One time he turns the corner,
smart dog,
and runs upstairs, so he has to like drive around to get to him. At one point,
finally Benji runs, and there's a beautiful scene where he's running so fast that the camera like is following him, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And then he ends up at the hotel, right?
Yeah.
With all like the police, police are there.
When he gets there, there's cops everywhere, and Benji is like, and he has this, what the fuck is this? Look at his face. Everyone
who's in the hotel is outside, I guess.
Yeah. And he's just like,
what's going on?
And so he's looking around like, what's going on? Like, and he's like slowly walking forward, like.
And then my second favorite part of this movie. Then he sees the family, and so he starts running up, and then like he hears the daughter go, Benji, and Dietrich's got the daughter with a gun to her head, saying, "Call him again."
Yeah, call him over.
Call him again, Benji. and then it's such great. Like I can't believe we're saying this. In such great fashion, Benji just looks, and you're like, he looks like with like desperation in his eyes,
and his like, eyes look intense.
It's so intense, but then he jumps and starts running after Dietrich.
He has flashbacks again, and these are not flashbacks from this movie.
I swear they're not.
Well, and so I don't know if they were from the first one.
I don't know.
He had a flashback of like a cop, and then he had a flashback of somebody firing a gun.
Maybe, who knows?
And then he had flashback of something else, and then like
he runs and dives at Dietrich. And then bites his arm, and he drops the gun.
He fires it in the air and then drops it.
Drops the gun, and the girl goes running, and the cops and Benji save the day.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then there's a nice little scene at the end where they're all like
Stelios explains everything. It's weird.
Now keep in mind the doctor still has. It's not Thursday because the doctor hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
So all this had to happen when, in a span of a couple days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and okay, so they're on the beach. It's Mary and the kids, and the kids are playing along with the dogs on the beach.
Yes. Stelios is in a hammock.
Yeah, Stelios is in a hammock, has a hat down, and Mary is sitting by him,
rocking him.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, I told you how to explain everything. Now you got to live up to your part of the deal. And so she's got a string to like pull the hammock back and forth.
Oh, they're gonna fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what this is about. Mary's getting it.
Oh, Mary's getting it.
But so the whole thing was this guy had like a formula.
Oh yeah,
that would turn 1 barrel of crude oil basically into like 12 barrels of crude oil.
Okay.
And so people wanted to get their hands on it.
Okay.
To control the market more.
There you go, folks.
Yeah. There you go.
And then Benji and Tiffany.
Yeah, the weirdest.
Benji knocks over like a picnic basket.
And he has a lid on a basket that he takes off.
And a bunch of puppies jump out.
And there's a bunch of puppies.
So Tiffany's whole problem was she was pregnant.
Yeah, her condition was she was pregnant, apparently.
Yeah, no. The only thing pregnant was a pregnant pause in this whole.
We were like, I'm sorry, was the dog pregnant?
Like,
did she just give birth here?
And also, like, wouldn't you be excited to see like your girlfriend after being on the streets more than maybe the family? Be like,
well, why would you drag a dog that was about a day away from bursting?
Yeah, right. To Greece.
Yeah, right.
I don't understand that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we can't leave Tiffany. Mary, she's gonna give pregnant. She's gonna give birth to puppies.
Yeah.
All right. You've been deuced on this one. So
yeah.
For the love of Benji.
For the love of Benji.
For the love of Benji on Netflix now. All right. I think we should go through our 5 questions, shall we?
I too think we should go through our 5 questions.
What's your favorite part about this movie, Jeremy?
I didn't think I would. Like at first, like I said, you get the scenes where you're like, hey, this just seems. It just seems like I was kind of like, this is all right. It just wasn't a lot happening. Mm-hmm. But then I like really was watching like some of Benji's reactions to stuff. And like the dog is so expressive. I think my favorite part of this though is it's the scene from where he gets put in the room upstairs and he goes to sleep. He like his eyes closed, get all tired. He wakes up when he hears Mary, and then like you said, there's a truck coming down the road. He's trying to bark for her, and you can't hear him. Yeah. And I think that was just such a great scene. And it had the range of emotion that I'm talking about with Benji, like his expression, how expressive he got. It has like. The tension from, he almost gets to Mary, what's he going to do? Yeah. Like the people are coming back. Like it's just a well done scene. Yeah.
There's a lot about this movie that I actually quite enjoyed, which I didn't think I was going to. I thought like maybe I would have not the fact that I would grow out of Benji movies, because of course I would, but the fact that like it's not that bad of a movie. In fact, it's kind of entertaining if you just let yourself kind of let it go as far as the plot is concerned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having said that, the fact that this is an action mystery movie, that's a Benji movie, that's not cartoonish, and we don't hear his voice, and it's just all kind of natural. Is the same way that Benji just looks himself is natural, kind of a little rough around the edges. That's what I've always liked about Benji movies, and it's especially shown here. So that's what I like about this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does this? Would you reboot, continue, or cancel?
Well, obviously we know that they've rebooted it, but we don't prefer the Benji. I think I wouldn't make it a movie. I would make it more like a TV show, like a kids' TV show. A la Lassie or something like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
More than necessarily movies.
Yeah.
But that's just me, though. I think that it would, and I wouldn't necessarily put it Netflix-y. Like, it just seems like that's, because Netflix is more of a binge kind of thing.
Yeah.
No one's clamoring to Benji movies. Get what I did there? I didn't even know I was doing that. Anyway, I just love it when I surprise myself. Okay, so I think I would, but I think I just would put it on like a family channel or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see them rebooting as a show, like almost like a CW thing. How they've done like, you get like Archie, you get Nancy Drew, you get whatever.
CW thing? You would make this a CW show?
Maybe.
Wow, no.
Why not?
Because I just don't see that. Because those CW shows also have like a grit to them.
Yeah.
That is more geared towards adolescents to 20 to 30-year-olds, and not necessarily Benji.
Well, doesn't mean they can't.
Yeah.
I mean they could do that.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. But I mean, what I mean is like have something that's more
like Nancy. They're doing Nancy Drew.
Yeah, I mean, like I think you can reboot some of these kind of things and have it, be relevant.
Nancy Drew should have a dog named Benji.
Do you think this movie stands on its own?
I mean, it's a different adventure. I don't really give a shit about the other guy, the doctor.
Well,
Right.
And I'm really not, I don't remember the first one.
I don't think you need to.
Yeah. But
all you know is there's a dog named Benji.
Yeah. I mean, you're confused with this movie part of the way, through a good portion of it too.
Right.
What the hell's happening?
Yeah.
So like you kind of piece together what's going on.
Yeah.
I think it does stand on its own well enough.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Would you want to watch the first one, or does this make you want to watch?
Based on this one, it does make me want to watch the first one.
Yeah,
yeah.
I could see that. I'm kind of interested, because this seems so the dog is basically a spy in a spy movie, like the unwitting, caught in a game of espionage thing.
But
so
it makes me wonder. Willing to watch the other ones, not necessarily the new ones. There's a nostalgia aspect of these that I think is more rooted in reality that kind of maybe holds up a little bit better than, say, your other nostalgia that was never really in reality to begin with.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. No, I'd be interested in checking it out. Sum up your experience in 2 words.
Oh, dog noir. This is like a film noir kind of spy movie in a way. This is the closest we're gonna get to an animal noir movie that's not animated or whatnot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think so. Now, is it up to snuff with a Marlowe or Spade movie? No, it's not. It's not The Big Sleep by any means. It's more The Big Dog Sleep. But I just love the fact that it's almost like they're like, what are we going to do for a sequel? Let's have him be a spy, and he doesn't even know it. Brilliant. Okay, let's do it. Which means they can do anything with him, and but even though it's kind of far fetched, there's still a reality that's rooted in this movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't feel like this couldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Even though it shouldn't happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's so weird to me that I just am yeah, okay, sure. Go along for the ride because it is what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this. My word, unfortunately, I think is too long. I think I have the in there. I kept thinking cloak and wagger. But no, there's something interesting about I like a movie where you don't quite realize, or you realize part of the way in where you're that this genre isn't what this movie is supposed to be about. You would never expect it a Benji movie to be this cloak and dagger, almost film noir kind of movie. In the same way that it's things. I love movies like that with Brick.
Right.
It's
That's what I mean.
It's a high school movie, but it's film noir. Right. It's just got this different genre that you don't expect.
A blend of something that that shouldn't blend.
Yes.
But also, even though it kind of is taking if you think about it in real life, it shouldn't be rooted in reality. But when you watch it, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, what?
Oh no, I agree. No, that's what I think as well.
Yeah, there you go. So you've been deuced on For the Love of Benji.
For the Love of Benji.
For the Love of Benji. So if you want to watch that on Netflix. What are we doing? What have we got coming up? Oh, wait. Where can people find us, Jeremy?
People can find us at thedeucepodcast.podbean.com.
Say what?
Yep. Apple Podcast, I guess, instead of iTunes. I don't think that's the name anymore.
What?
Yeah, they retired iTunes.
Oh, did they?
I think so, or in the process of.
Okay.
Google Play.
Probably through their streaming.
Yeah, Google Play, Stitcher. You can find us on nophonynetwork.com, along with all of our other podcast mates. You can also find us on Facebook at the Deuce Podcast. Make sure that you join. We post all sorts of things there. And then also at Deuce Podcast on Twitter. And I want to call this out because either Facebook or Twitter, this is immensely important. We currently, we're gearing up for our next episode.
Sure.
Which is a listener's choice.
Oh, that is our next episode, a listener's choice episode.
Yes, it is.
So we got a couple choices that we're giving people.
We do.
To go vote.
So we need you guys to go out there and vote. Yeah. Well, the polls are open through Wednesday, June 5th. So make sure you're getting out there and voting. If it's after Wednesday, June 5th, you're just going to have to listen to whatever everybody else voted for.
So what are the choices that we got going?
So we have 4 choices for you. So The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Lost World, Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 2. Magic Mike XXL.
XXL. And then the winner that's probably going to happen, right? Smurfs 2.
Oof. The Smurfs 2.
So go ahead and vote, but if you're going to vote, make sure you vote for Smurfs 2.
Don't you do it.
I'm just saying, folks, if you want to listen to us pontificate, Smurfs 2 would be your choice. Because there's a lot of allegories in Smurfs 2 that we can talk.
Are there?
Yes, there are. Smurfs 2. So go ahead. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but if you want to vote for, if you have a hard time, Smurfs 2 would be your choice.
Oh, there you go. Totally. All right. So please go out and vote there. Again, polls are open through June 5th.
Yes.
So make sure you get that vote in there. We will tally up the totals between Facebook and Twitter. So hell, if you want to go vote on both of those, go crazy.
Go crazy. And remember, Smurfs 2, the sequel is king.
Your sunshine smiles, your skies are blue, your spring is blossoming, and so are you. You can turn me around anytime I'm feeling down. You can dry your tears just by being near. Your summer's song and morning's light, your dawn can overcome the darkest night. You are the champagne, the rhapsody that your sunshine